other companies like Data Director and Key Data Systems. There's a lot of vendors out there. This is the system that was chosen in Santa Ana.
We used to have Data Director
Mm-hmm.
and moved away from that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Richardson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
One.
So it passes 3-1 with Ms. Iglesias dissenting. Item 1.14, Ms. Iglesias.
Okay. My question is on number 5.
Related to
The-
contracts, and number 5 is with Peach Jar Incorporated.
So Peach Jar Incorporated is a company that will provide electronic flyers. So instead of having paper flyers that we hand out in the kids' backpacks or that get lost along the way home, this will actually go directly to parents based on the email addresses and the electronic information that they provide for us as their contact information. This is no cost to the district as much as they work with the vendors who are trying to give flyers in the schools and making sure that we approve them before they go out. But this is just a more efficient way of not running the paper and not having the flyers get lost, but going directly to the parents. And then we can post them on the web as well.
Yeah, okay.
Can you explain that, what you just said about the flyers and vendors for the flyers?
So, for instance, if we were doing Think Together after school programs and we wanted to advertise that summer school was coming, I mean, that's something that we've done in the past. This would be a mechanism so that we could notify parents electronically that these are the programs, these are the school sites, et cetera, et cetera. So all the paper notifications that we send home to parents currently, we would be able to do that electronically, and we wouldn't have to pay a fee to do that. They would manage that process for us. As well as schools would be able to send home newsletters using the same mechanism at no cost. So,
Okay, but how about for parents that don't have access to media, they don't have access to all that stuff? How are we going to be addressing their needs?
we could still, it doesn't prohibit us from doing paper. This is just an additional way to reach our parents and our community.
Can you explain again how there's no cost, how they...
Sure, I'm going to ask Ms. Deidre to come up since this is a
I
contract
thought I
that
was
she's been
following
working
you, and now I lost it.
Yes, to answer your question, how do they actually get paid since there's no cost to the district? Currently, a lot of our external vendors, they pay to copy their flyers. And as a courtesy, we allow our schools to, send them home, and they put them in the folders and the backpacks. So rather than the company paying to get their flyers copied, they would pay a small fee to use the electronic mechanism. So essentially, instead of sending out paper flyers, they may pay just a amount, let's say $30, to reach our parent population about their programs. Dr. Phillip mentioned Think Together. Well, we also have things from a lot of our service providers that provide programs for our youth, all kind of enrichment. We have the football, we have the baseball, and we receive requests daily from nonprofits to distribute information. So this is another mechanism to help us kind of get parents to utilize the electronic. It'll also help with our staffing because we're using our own resources to support these organizations. And they would definitely know well ahead of time, this is what we're going to do. And we're also doing an aggressive email campaign to help parents, for those that don't have email addresses, to get them into our system because we need them anyways. But it's just another mechanism for us to communicate.
Who is the person that oversees what's sent out now?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So I have a humongous binder just for this year in my office with each flyer that has been approved and that has not been approved.
Okay. Ms. Iglesias, do you have another question?
There was a question that I had, I guess, with the information that you send us on the this right here where it said that you're going to, I think my concern was that you're going to eventually get away from paper flyers.
The goal is, and this is happening all across the nation. We have a lot of neighboring districts as well that have jumped aboard. Parents, we're finding, are relying or are preferring to receive information electronically. While, we still have parents that will want to receive things as paper, we just want to give them more options. If it seems and it appears like that is what parents are preferring, then eventually we would decrease the amount of paper that we send home on a daily basis.
It also, another way to look at it is that it will also allow you to target. It would also allow you to, for, let's say a nonprofit, let's say the Boy Scouts, to reduce their costs. I think the big challenge is because we don't have a community that's highly electronic. But one of the benefits, is that as the kids get older, the more difficult to send something home because it never gets home. So someone like me who's done it for years knows that if I give it to the elementary schools, the kids will take it home. I think it is the junior intermediate,
You're not going to take it anywhere.
or high school, you actually will be able to communicate directly with parents at those levels where normally you're not sure if they receive it or not, right? But also there's another thing that happens, is that it also it makes the office staff a little more efficient, because instead of me taking 36,000 flyers for elementary, and then I have to divide 30 packages of 30 for each classroom, and then you take it to the classroom site, to the school site, and then they gotta put it into the mailboxes. You're gonna save a lot of that time. But at the end of the day, you're going to know whether or not you're efficiently doing it and effectively doing it, because you'll be able to see the outcome. I think that's what
You're right on it. You will see if parents continue to sign up for programs, because now they would be able to do it directly by just clicking a link. So there's a step taken out, rather than getting a paper flyer, then you taking that paper and then going, to the website electronically. They can just click on the hyperlink, register, and that will be the outcome. If it continues to grow or stay as it is, then we know that parents are still getting the message, but it's being delivered to them rather than being sent home through their child.
But it does sound like from the write-up, as Ms. Iglesias is pointing out, that you're not going to entertain any more paper flyers that are delivered to the district as you have been to send them out.
Right. The company, of course.
No, I'm not talking about the company.
No, I'm just
talking about your
saying,
office.
yeah. And when I wrote that, that's basically what I was saying was they would we could decide how we want to do it. And if we don't like it, we can stop. So we're not
No, I
obligated.
think the issue is for the parents who don't have that access, how would they get information? If we, because the question is, are you going to stop doing all paper announcements?
Eventually, it would be very difficult to decide which parents you give the flyer to and which ones you don't, because we don't really target individual parents. We target groups, we target schools. So the idea is really not to duplicate our efforts, because if we do that, then we might as well just stay with paper.
Do we know what the access is now?
Yes. Well, right now I can tell you
For our
in our
parents.
records, we have 15,000 emails from parents. Okay. And we have approximately 38,000 households, meaning that we have, maybe 2 or 3 children. So we actually have close to 40% of our population's email. What we would like to do and what we've been doing is we want to get more emails. And so we want to send out a flyer asking parents to provide their email addresses so we can cross-check. And if it's not there, we can put it into our student information system so that we can utilize it for multiple uses, just not for this, but so that we build up our email base. So we really are actually in a good place. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that electronically, we have more flexibility for different languages, because it would be provided in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. So whatever the parent would select as their